plants. They grow everywhere, even in our homes, but some of these leaves can contain deadly toxins that can be deadly not only to us, but also to our animals. Hey everyone, it's Sophie from Build Your Jungle, and today we are talking about perhaps the most dangerous plant in the world. Can I get a drum roll, please? It is giant hogweed. Its scientific name, which sounds very much like a Harry Potter spell, is Heraculum mantagasianum, and it is part of the Apiaceae family of plants, I believe, which is the same as vegetables like carrots and parsnips, weirdly. Scarily, it looks really similar to a lot of other common plants. So here's just a side-by-side comparison for you of giant hogweed, the very dangerous plant, next to the common cow parsley. The flowers in particular are very similar, and obviously that's worrying because if you're going to stumble across these in the wild, the last thing you want to do is pick it up or touch it thinking that it's cow parsley. So if you see plants at all that kind of look like this, probably best to avoid. So where did this really dangerous plant come from, and why is it here? Well, in Victorian times in England, it was brought over from Central Asia and it was used as a landscaping plant, which was hard to find information about online, but I can only theorize that the landscapers didn't understand how dangerous it was and the effects of handling this plant. There's a police siren. And then because it's invasive, it just very quickly became naturalized. It takes over. It's got a very dominant seeding habit. It's very easily spread, like once it comes to seed. You might be wondering, what is it that makes this plant so dangerous? Well, the sap contains a substance called fukumarin, I believe. This is how you spell it. Don't know if I pronounced it right. And if this gets on your skin, then later on your skin can develop phytophotodermatitis, and that is a type of dermatitis caused by exposure to light. You'll go away, and then later when that skin is exposed to sunlight, it causes really severe burns, it causes blistering, and these burns and blisters, even after they're treated, they can recur weeks after, months after, years after. It's an ongoing problem that will stick with you through your whole life. So it is just an absolute disaster to come into contact with. Here's the big question though, can it unalive you? Yes, it can. And because they grow near bodies of water, there have been quite a few unfortunate headlines over the years of members of the public who have been really badly injured by this plant. If you fell into this plant, you could be in a whole lot of trouble, because if that sap got over most of your body, like there is a chance you could die there. Historically, the first incident involving this plant was on the 10th of July 1970. A couple of children had been playing just outside Kew Gardens and unknowingly came into contact with the plant, and they later suffered incredibly severe burns and blisters, and that meant that the doctor that was treating them then petitioned to get this plant, having seen how severe the effects were, he petitioned to get this plant on the dangerous plants list. So then that resulted in changes in 1981 to the Wildlife and Countryside Act, and it made it so that it was illegal to do anything involving planting this plant or encouraging the spread of this plant. But even though planting it is illegal, it has not helped us get rid of it in this country, mostly because of how invasive its growth habit is. And it's just impossible to get rid of. It's very difficult to remove. It's got to be removed with all the correct precautions taken. And a good example of how that's not always enough to save you from this plant is the Alnwick Poison Gardens. Now, if you haven't heard of this, it is a subsection in the Alnwick Botanical Gardens, and it is a manned area of the garden. You have to go on a supervised tour around it. It's all completely hedged and gated in, and they have on display the most poisonous plants in the world. One of the people that worked for the garden, she was cutting back the giant hogweed, because obviously if you're going to display these plants, you have to maintain them. A lot of them have invasive growth habits. So she was doing that. She had safety equipment on, but she still suffered third-degree burns. much later, like a few days or a few weeks later. And they actually talk about this, I believe, on one of the videos from Alnwick Poison Garden, the guy that gives the tours. There's even a song. There's a song about it, about giant hogweed, and I'm sure I'm not allowed to play it right now for copyright. So this is the name of the song if you want to look it up, because I just think it is quite the legacy this nasty plant has left behind. So you're out and about, you see a massive big plant with white flowers and you think, how do I know if that is giant hogweed? Well, this is how you identify it. So let's take a look at some examples of it in its juvenile stage and in its mature stage. So they grow up to 2 meters tall. And if we take a closer look at the leaves, you can see that the leaves are jagged, they have lobes, they grow in a rosette formation, and the underneath of the leaves are hairy. It's only when the plant is more mature that it will send up a flower spike. It's actually much easier to ID it in bloom, and the flowers are white or white pink, and they grow in upward facing clusters. I think they're called like umbelules or something. Umbilicals? Umbiculars. We'll put it on the screen. And the flower clusters can get as big as 60 centimeters in diameter. So it's pretty big, pretty big. It's like bigger than a plate. It may not be the most poisonous plant in the world, but giant hogweed is undoubtedly the most dangerous plant in the UK and has caused harm to a lot of people and animals. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, found this a little bit interesting. Please do let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. At the moment, I post long form content on Friday, so please do hit that button, subscribe to be notified when I next make a video. I also post every day on TikTok. There's all kinds of funky business on there, so do check that out. And I hope you're having a great day thinking about houseplants.